Hey guys!
Welcome back, everybody.
What's up?
We hope you all enjoyed your Super Bowl parties, if that's what you were doing, or maybe you were just watching more movies or something else.
Writing on shopping lists at friends' houses.
Yes. What? Oh, that's a secret.
Not anymore.
It's a
It just
secret.
went live. Anyway, we
I
were
didn't
at
do
a
it.
Super Bowl party last night, so I don't know if you guys caught our short little 30-second live, but we just popped on to say, hey, we weren't going to compete with Super Bowl, that we were going live tonight. So hopefully we'll get a few that'll join us and pop on in here and listen. Otherwise, hopefully you guys will check out the live later. What are you doing?
Just checking one last thing.
He's trying to reverse the camera because we look backwards. But we're good.
This is so dumb.
That's okay. We're okay. Okay, so we have a good lineup of kind of older movies this time. So we kind of picked movies from the late 90s, early 2000s. This week, it just kind of was the mood that we were in. Most of them are chick flicks. Some of them are recommended by our friends. So we'll give shout outs when those movies pop up. But the first one is kind of a longtime favorite of all of ours. I think our whole
Which
family
one is
kind of
this?
likes this one. She's All That from 1999.
Oh yeah,
So this has Freddie Prinze Jr.
this was during the age of teen romance movies.
Yeah.
So we were in high school, and this was the thing to watch, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm a fan of Freddie Prinze Jr. I think he's a good actor. I think he's a lot of fun to watch because he's good at these kind of romancy movies. And we just watched a movie with him over Christmas,
and it was
with a pop star,
recent
pop
release.
Singer. Yeah,
and so he's a little bit older. And he was a father.
Yeah,
so that's fun.
So this one is him. He's high school. He's kind of one of the popular guys.
He's the jock.
Yeah,
he's a jock, and he's going after the hey Miyogo, thanks for joining us on a different day.
Yeah, mix it up on everybody.
Glad you saw the announcement.
But yeah, so he's the jock. He's one of the popular ones in the school. His girlfriend breaks up with him for a TV.
A jock. The jock is the athlete, the popular one, usually the football player or star baseball player of some kind. The dude bro guy.
Yeah, a popular sporty guy.
Yep.
And his girlfriend had broke up with him to go out with this guy who was, I don't know, on one of those
another
TV
jock
shows or something.
Oh, this was when Real World was an MTV reality show, when reality TV was in its beginnings.
Yeah. So he was one of those, and he wasn't even really a star in that either. He was kind of kicked out of the house pretty early in that show. But anyway, so that left Freddie Prinze Jr. With no girlfriend for prom. So his buddy made a bet with him that he wouldn't be able to turn a nerdy girl into somebody that everybody would be, that could be a prom queen, basically. So he made this bet with his friend, and the friend set him up with the school artsy nerd.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
And so she was kind of misunderstood by everybody in the school. The guys, they thought she was complete nerd.
And then in public high school, that's the way it was. You had all of these cliques. The jocks. I was a band geek, so I didn't hang out with the jocks. Then you had the artsy folks and the people who were on student council, yada, yada, yada.
No, that's not the one where the girl was pretending to be. The movie the girl was pretending to be a guy. Not that one. I know which one you're thinking of, and it's not this one.
That was
the second one.
That was
so there's a second one to that. This one's the original one. She's All That, and then there's He's All That.
Well, she's the man.
That's the one.
I think he's thinking of She's the Man.
She's the Man. Okay, that's
we'll
the next.
We'll be talking
movie.
about She's the Man.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that one. But there is a second one to She's All That. It's called He's All That, and it's kind of a role reversal. It's the guy who's the nerd.
She's All That's way better.
She's All That is better. The original,
Way
yeah,
better.
So it was good. He did end up turning her around. She did end up getting nominated for prom queen. She didn't win, but she got nominated, and she actually did clean up nicely and was pretty beautiful. And he fell for her, truly fell for her. But of course, she found out that he made a bet, and she got mad, and he had to win her back.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so that was a conflict. And then the resolution was, of course, them resolving that. And they liked each other and ran off into the sunset, as these movies
Of course.
and typically end. But it was nice to see some cliques kind of learning about each other.
Yes. So different.
They get along.
Different.
Instead of saying separate, they
different cliques within the school realized that they had common ground or things in common with each other. So,
and then his one jock friend got his just desserts during graduation. What happened to him during graduation? Something happened.
He got one of the girls went after him. The sister of Freddie Prinze. Punched him or something. I forget.
Oh, okay.
That part's blurry to me. But yes, he did get his. He got something in return. But that one's good. What were you gonna say?
6.5. I was gonna say, I'd probably give it a 6.5.
Okay, I'd probably give it a 7. It's a good one. I'd love to go back and watch this one.
Yeah, its rewatchability for us is a little bit more nostalgic because it came out in 1999, so we were getting ready a year away from graduating high school, and so everybody was watching this.
I was already done with high school for 2 years.
Oh, I guess 99. Oh, I guess I graduated also. What am I thinking?
I was in college.
I went backwards.
Anyway, okay, so we rate that one 6.5 to a 7. The next one is the one that Lord Goodrold was talking about. She's the Man,
which I had not seen.
It's from 2006. It is. I
think that's the year Rocky Balboa came out.
Yeah, it's an Amanda Burns movie, so she's the main star in this one, and
is that her name?
Yeah, Amanda Burns.
Bynes,
whatever.
Is there an R?
No,
or is it
It's Bynes.
Oh, okay.
And if you remember, she was in quite a few movies there in the early 2000s, and then she just kind of disappeared.
I can't think of the one that she was really well known for.
She was well known for a lot of these little ones like this, like a lot of these teen romantic kind of movies.
Oh, okay.
Then she had little struggles, ended up dealing with rehab kind of stuff, which happens. But this one was from 2006, and this one was she and her girls' soccer team. The girls' soccer program got cut from their school, their college. She really wanted to play, so her brother was skipping school and ended up going on a vacation in Europe or somewhere.
Was it for his band?
No, he was just going because he didn't want responsibility, and he was just that kind. So he just kind of left. So she decided to pose as him and go to his college and try out for the soccer team. So she did, and of course, she made the soccer team, but she had to pose as a man. She had to pose as her brother. So her twin brother. So they were the same age. So
this is like the teen version of Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, and it was funny because she's obviously a girl, but
she was trying. Like this.
Yeah, so she was disguising her voice and trying to wear the clothing. Like she was wearing a binder and all this stuff, and then having to deal with trying to not have to change in the dressing room with all the guys. And how does the girl just get into all the guys?
Did she try
posed.
Out?
She did. She tried out. She made it as a second string, so she didn't make it as a first string player. But she still made the team, and she ended up proving herself. And they put her into starting position then as the season went on. But she was able to pull it off until close to the end, when they had a game against her school.
And there's some mix-ups, and she
falls for one of the guys on the team. That's one of her teammates.
And then she has to switch identities pretty quickly because she's trying to be in two places at once.
Because she had to be with her mom in this girls' league thing. And so she ran into some of the same girls that went to the brothers' school, and so
very much
she's
like
kind of a
Mrs. Doubtfire, because Robin Williams had to do the same thing in a pinch, changing characters in the same hour.
She didn't the whole time. That was just towards the end that she
mhm.
had to do that when things were getting down to the wire. And
Yeah.
the team, she ends up confessing that she was a girl at the very last game, and they had to decide if they were going to let her continue to play or not. They found that the bylaws for their team didn't specify gender.
And then the coach said, "We don't discriminate anybody here."
Yeah,
And then
they went ahead and let her
play.
on the team, and it kind of shows that she remains on the team and plays, and she was as good as any of the guys on the team, so they let her stay on. But she was able to play as a girl then, and she continued to date who is Channing Tatum. That's who the person was that was the teammate.
The Step It Up guy.
Yeah.
And he was in our film, the Purple Hearts film that we watched. No, wait.
We just went. Yep.
That was him? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Dog.
No.
He was in
wasn't
Dog.
Purple Heart. That was a different actor.
That was somebody else? Who was that?
So.
Oh, you're right. That was
a different guy.
Some other
but
dude.
He was in Dog, and we did do Dog not too long ago, over the summer, I think.
He's definitely in Step It Up.
So
if you haven't seen the 10 Step It Up movies.
Yeah. So I would probably rate this one a 6. It was funny, but it was, I don't know.
I'd probably give it the same too. There you go.
Did he know she was a girl the entire time, or did he just... No, she was actually his roommate. So they were actually just trying to be friends, and then she ended up falling for him, and he saw her when she was her. So when she had to do the swapping back and forth, he met her as the sister of his roommate. And they looked, and she said, we're twins. That's why we look so much alike. And he ended up kind of falling for her. And then when she at the end admitted that all this time that was her,
and she had to
was his roommate, he was like, okay, well, I still like you.
And she had to be sneaky whenever she had to take a shower in the dorms. I mean, it's a guy's dorm. And so there were several instances where she was trying to sneak around and do normal girl things.
Or she just didn't shower. She kind of just waited and went into a stall and tried to clean herself up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting. I think one of the times she skipped class so that she could go shower when everyone else was in class.
That's gross.
Anyway, so we rate that one a 6. It's pretty cute to watch. Would I watch it lots of times? I don't know. I might watch it again in another couple of years.
The She's All That has more rewatchability factor to it. Yeah.
All right. The next one,
300.
No.
What?
No.
It's not 300.
No. Sorry.
That's Valentine's.
No. No. So the next one is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So our friend Christina wanted us to watch this one and review it. So we've seen it before many, many times.
This
it's
one
kind
is
of another favorite of mine.
Yeah.
It's Matthew McConaughey and...
I enjoy this one too.
What's her face?
Han.
Kate Hudson.
It's not Han. Yeah, it's that.
Kate Hudson.
The
Goldie Hawn's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Step one. Get another guy.
Katie Hudson. Yep. There you go.
Yep.
They're both really funny in this movie.
I like Matthew McConaughey anyway. I think he's a pretty funny actor. He does well with roles like these kind of romantic movies. He does really well, and of course, he's stupidly handsome. So how would he not do well?
He's a very charismatic actor.
He is. And Kate Hudson is cute. She's fun, and
she's also in Raising Helen, which is a great comedy with her in it.
Yeah. It has a few other big names in this one too, but those two are the leads, and it's basically she works for a paper. They both work for papers.
So there is another bet involved in this film, and it revolves around.
But they both had bets.
They both had bets.
So he worked for a sports paper.
Advertising, right?
Yeah, with advertising within the sports paper, and she worked for kind of a beauty paper,
cosmopolitan kind of.
She was kind of a question answer column was what her job was. She wanted to write better stories.
She wanted to write about politics, I think.
Yeah.
Current events.
Yeah,
But then
and her boss poo-pooed on that.
she wanted her to be more of a gossip.
And her friend,
trendy stuff.
Yeah. And her friend was kind of a mess with boys and got herself kind of into a bind where she was dating this guy and was moving too fast and scared him off. And so their editor said, I want somebody to take the story. I want somebody to write the story about her, about the mistakes that she's making in dating. So Katie Hudson's character pops up and says, I'll do it, because it was her friend. So she didn't want somebody to butcher the story and kind of embarrass her friends. So she decides to take it on and says, I'll do a How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So I will, I'll date a guy. I'll do all of the wrong things that women do and get him to dump me. So that was her goal. Well, on the other side, in the meantime, he made a bet with these two girls who were also in the ad business, who were trying for the same account of this diamond company. And so they bet him that he
trying to win. That he could win any girl that was in the room where they were in,
and keep her for a certain amount of time. I thought it was, wasn't it? Like he had to date her or get her to fall in love with them or something.
Mm-hmm. By a certain deadline.
Yeah. So they ended up getting set up with each other. So they both have this bet going on. So neither one of them want to
They both have
end the relationship, because that means that they would lose their bet.
Yeah.
So they continue on, and it kind of goes on and on. And Katie's character does all of the weird, crazy things. So it's showing them going through all of this. And he's just kind of like, yeah, okay, this woman's crazy.
So I think that's what makes it really funny, is because they have opposite intentions.
Yeah.
But they have to make it work for the sake of the bet.
And of course, as all romance movies, they end up falling for each other. For real.
Caught me off guard.
Really? You're cute.
I had no idea. I thought they were going to die like all those Nicholas Sparks movies.
Stop it.
They'll die.
One person dies, but there's always a romance.
Like the kindergarten cop kid says, everyone dies,
Oh, wow, plot twist. Crazy, right? I know. So, but you don't think that, it kind of shows a part where they realized that they had a bet against each other, and they both got angry. Mostly her. She got angry at him, but then she was kind of hypocritical because she was doing the same thing, and he didn't really get angry that she had a bet going. But in the end, they realized that they were, despite all the craziness they put each other through, and they enjoyed each other.
Yeah, and she went over to his family's house, and when you have these things that are forced, you have people that are kind of forced into these relationships that were not necessarily their intention. People are very relational, and that's how they kind of got connected.
Yeah.
And so that tied in very well with how it ended.
Yeah.
No surprise.
So it's one of my all-time favorites. Christina, it was a good recommendation. I love going back and watching this one.
It's rewatchable for me too.
Yeah.
So.
I'd probably give this one an 8, because I like the people in it. I like their dynamic. I like the humor. I like the originality to the story.
I'll do 7.5. I find it entertaining. I'll never pick it, but I'll always have my eyes up whenever she picks it. It's funny.
So that was How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days from 2003. The next one he picked
300.
No, but it's Bedazzled from 2000. So this was when Spectrum was down. We had no internet. We couldn't get on. So I said, all right, look through our DVDs that we have.
This one is just
from ages ago and pick a movie. And
if I were to,
one he picked.
If I were to pick my favorite romantic comedy, it would probably be this one, because it is just really, really funny. And Brendan Fraser's in it. He's one of my favorites from The Mummy. Elizabeth Hurley.
Yes, Elizabeth Hurley.
And Brendan Fraser is just I think he's a great actor. He's really funny. He does action roles really well.
Yeah, and in this movie, he does Goofy.
5 different characters, or something like that.
And he does all of them. Of them hilariously.
He was a crack dealer, a cartel leader. So Delton Drugs, and then what else did he do? He was a pro basketball player.
Abraham Lincoln.
He's Abraham Lincoln. He was president of the United States.
He was a super sensitive, earth-loving,
oh my goodness,
dolphin
very emotional
friendly,
person.
Overly emotional person.
And then he was a very intellectual gay guy.
And then, did you say basketball player?
Yeah, all-star basketball player.
Like
Michael Jordan, Larry Bird.
So, and in all of these, he was able to. So he sold his soul to the devil for 5 wishes,
or made a deal, or
that was sold the soul. He had to sign paper.
So I have to sell my soul.
So he got these 5 wishes. Well, and Elizabeth Hurley was the devil.
Yeah.
And so each time she would say to him, "Okay, make a wish, but really decide what you want that wish to be," because
so he would name all of these
it very literal
characteristics, and like she said, take it literal and takes her own liberties so that he loses pretty much in the end.
So it's pretty funny because whatever he wishes, I mean, it sounds like when he's making this wish, okay, yeah, that would be a really good, thing. But then when she turns him into these characters, there's always a twist. There's a spin. There's a negative to each of these characters. And
Rich and Powerful was the first one.
Yeah.
And he forgot to specify that because he was after this girl. He wanted this girl to be in love with him. And he forgot to specify that in the first one. And so she ends up.
She said she's in love with him, but she ends up.
She really likes this other guy. Yeah. And so he's. Yeah.
So that's kind of how each of these things went. None of them turned out the way he thought they were going to turn out. And then in the end, he goes to the devil and he says, "I'm done. I'm just going to be me. It's just what it is. I'm done. I want my soul back. I don't want any more wishes. I'm done."
And in the beginning, he was kind of the guy that wanted to blend in with the mingle with the rest of his coworkers. Then they didn't want to have anything to do with him
because he was nerdy,
a nerdy guy.
He was completely nerd.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was kind of the outcast,
yeah.
And he tried to force himself on his coworkers, and I think that was the biggest thing. Well, he did learn from all of these experiences. So at the end of the movie, it kind of shows him telling them off because they see him with this beautiful woman, Elizabeth Hurley. And so they kind of are like, oh, well, maybe there's a little more to him than we were giving him credit for. And at the end, they were trying to be social with him. And he's like, no, you were so bad to me all this time. Why would I now,
So he kind of a cool character development journey for Brendan Fraser's character.
So he realized some changes he needed to make about himself.
Yeah.
And learned in the process. And he got a girl. He didn't get the girl he was hoping for, but he got one that looked exactly like her, but was nerdy like him.
Of course, it's obviously played by the same actress, but different name, and very much like he was.
So it was really cute. It's a really cute movie.
Totally rewatchable. I love watching this one. So I picked it.
And it's got, kind of the over the top devil scenes. Like, this is what the devil would look like in the fire and blah,
so
blah, blah.
When she's not an attractive woman, then she was in horns.
Yeah. So it's kind of, silly. But it was good. So what would you rate that one? Bedazzled. I mean, you picked it, so.
9.5.
Oh.
It's so funny. This is a really funny movie.
I'd probably give it an 8.5.
What's your favorite character of his role?
Favorite role of his? Oh my goodness, they all were just so.
Do you have a least favorite one? My least favorite
the basketball one.
Really? That was my most favorite one.
No, he's so ridiculous.
Go play
I
good.
just realized you're doing a romance month and Valentine's Day is in 2 days. Yeah, that right. So we kind of plan things like that. So
feel good.
Hey, Lisa.
I play good. Oh, hey, Lisa. I think we did pretty good tonight. You put a hard 10%. That was the funniest part.
He was. Oh my word.
Now
ridiculous.
Well, so that was your least favorite.
Okay, so that's my least favorite. So probably, I don't know. I mean, my favorite kind of realistic part, I guess, is Abraham Lincoln. I think he did that one really well. I mean, he could have pulled it off.
Yeah. That was a really short one because obviously he got shot.
He didn't want to get shot.
Got shot in the theater.
Yeah.
But then, okay, so my least favorite one was the overly emotional one.
Oh,
It's just annoying.
yeah, that was
super
pretty annoying. Yeah,
He kept crying at the sunset. That's how
but
emotional
I mean,
it
it was
was.
kind of cute too.
At the
Would
first
would I
few
be
seconds.
attracted to that though? Probably not.
The first few seconds was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a little over the top. All right, so that was Bedazzled from 2000. So check it out. It's a good one. It's rewatchable.
So
We
funny.
pull it out every 3 or 4 years or so and give it another watch.
Every other month?
No,
It's not that often? No?
Used to be.
Maybe once a year.
We've got some variety we've got going on now, so we don't pull it out as much. But the next one is, I think you picked this one too. Something's Gotta Give from 2003.
Oh, you know what? I was drawn to it just because I saw Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, so he was just kind of scouting through Netflix and popped this one on, and it's Jack Nicholson and Diana Keaton, Keanu Reeves.
I had second thoughts an hour into it.
Yes, so we didn't realize that this was going to be a 2-night commitment because it was 2.5 hours long, or a little over 2.5 hours long.
I think it was, if they would have shortened it to a normal feature-length film, then it would have been a little bit more palatable for me.
And I see why they drug it out, because you really needed a little more of the story to kind of get to the character development that you needed to get to by the end.
Oh, so
all right,
thanks for joining us.
Thanks for popping in. Check out the rest of our. We only have 2 more movies left, so you're only missing 2. So check those out later.
See ya.
Good night. So Jack Nicholson was kind of like this. He's
a really good actor.
Obviously. He's a good actor, but in this role that he was in this one, he was kind of this single old guy who dated
kind of a
much
player.
Younger women. Yeah, and he never wanted to commit. He would only stay with women until they lost interest or found somebody else, and then he would move on. But he was never intimate with them. That was the thing you find out a little bit into
later,
the movie.
5 hours into the movie.
Beginning. So it starts out in the movie, and he's dating this 20-something-year-old woman, and they go to her mother's beach house.
Yeah, because they wanted to get away
for a weekend getaway, and her mother ended up being there. So then, of course,
yes, he is considerably older.
Yes, he's in his 60s, I think he said.
He just liked younger women. That's all.
Yeah,
and they liked him
younger.
for some reason.
They were young enough to be his daughter.
It's old hands.
Yeah, that's basically, they held hands and kissed and that kind of stuff.
Play Monopoly.
But in the beginning, you don't know that. You think that they're intimate with each other, and then you're kind of like, oh, that's like gross, because there's so much difference in age.
Now the weird part was when the mother showed up, and then the daughter is dating this,
and the daughter's like, yeah, this is my boyfriend, and the mother's like, oh, this guy is my age. Like, why are you with this guy? And she says, he's fun. He's so much fun. We go out and we do fun things. So they go out on the town. And that's what attracts these women to him, is that he has money and he spends the money and he throws these elaborate parties and he takes them out and they go to all of these things.
At one point, he was mistaken to be the girl's dad and then grandfather.
Yeah. So he ends up having a heart attack like 10 minutes into the movie.
And he's old and he has health issues.
And so he ends up in the hospital for a good part of the beginning of the movie.
He goes there. He has several hospital visits in this movie.
And that's when Keanu Reeves comes into the scene, because he is his doctor.
Yeah, John Wick.
And so Keanu Reeves has a interest in the girl's mother. So like you're seeing
much older.
Yeah. So you're seeing this young guy now being attracted to this older woman, and this old guy being attracted to this younger woman. So this movie kind of plays really like that. And we're both just like, oh, they need to just switch partners. Like, what are they doing here? So I guess it was probably through the first hour and a half that we're like, where are they going with this movie? What is going on?
It was dragging on.
Yeah. And so the doctor and the mother were dating and going out and doing things. And then the old guy and the daughter were going out and doing things when he's not having a heart attack and in the hospital.
And Keanu Reeves' character liked the mother because she was an author. So he liked her books. So
I think he more liked the thought of her, not necessarily her.
Yeah.
Well, then, 2 hours into the movie, Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton's character do end up finding that they're attracted to each other, and in more of a relational way. So they could actually relate to each other and to health issues and to their age and to all of the things that, make sense in a relationship.
Did Keanu Reeves
she dated Keanu Reeves' character up until the very last 10 minutes when they were in Paris.
But he didn't end up with a daughter, right?
No.
Okay, that was the kind of
she got married to somebody else. The daughter got married to somebody else and they had a kid.
So that was the end of Keanu Reeves' character when he realized that the mother loved that she liked.
She knows that he knew that she was attracted to Jack Nicholson's character. So then he's kind of said, okay, well, I'm kind of walking away from this relationship because it's not going to go anywhere, right? So then Diana Keaton and Jack Nicholson end up getting together at the end, and then they get married.
You see them do family stuff, they're hanging out.
And so then they're with the daughter's family and the grandbaby, and you see him with the grandbaby, and he's kind of, become part of the family. And that was one thing he mentions through the movie, that he never really had a family. He never experienced a relationship like that would lead to a family, because he was always just messing around with younger girls. So, I walked up and saw his old jiggly cheeks. Yeah, you get a few butt shots and other things in this one with the hospital scenes. But overall, I'm glad how it ended. I'm glad it ended the way it did, and the right people ended up together.
Yeah.
That kind of redeemed the movie for me, even though at the beginning I was just frustrated.
Again, when is this I was having, like I said, second thoughts about picking this movie, but I like Jack Nicholson. He's good.
Yeah.
And Keanu Reeves, obviously.
I like Diane Keaton too. I think she's a really good actress. She plays in a lot of movies that I like. So, okay. So rating this one. So there's a lot to think about in this one, because
6.5.
Yeah, I would probably say 6.
I wouldn't watch it again.
Because it drug on, and because the beginning was so dumb, and it did redeem itself. See, that's what I look for, is redeeming value in a movie. And it did have that.
Otherwise, it would have a much lower rating.
I would say it would be worth a one-time watch.
Yeah.
Would I watch it again? No. But it was worth a one-time watch.
Just go to the bathroom before you start.
Yeah, plan on a long night. Pop some popcorn, get a soda, because you're going to be there a while. All right. And then the last one is The Man in the Moon. And Lisa, this one was recommended by her. Hopefully she's still on here. I don't know if she is. Lisa, if you're on here, give us a wave. But this one was recommended by her, and this is from 1991, and it's an original Reese Witherspoon movie. So
as in her debut.
I didn't even know she did movies at 14. So it was kind of fun to watch this one and see her so young. And she portrayed a 14-year-old in this movie. So she was the age of her character.
I enjoyed this because it was just...
Hey, Lisa. Yay, I'm glad you're on here. We really enjoyed this movie, so we're really glad you recommended it to us.
Yeah, I liked it because it just kind of played out their summer.
Yeah.
They were just living life over the summer. And there was the conflict between the two sisters and the boy.
So kind of a setup for it. There's the family, had mom, dad, and 2 sisters. And some other siblings. There were some younger siblings in there. The mom was pregnant and ended up having a baby through the movie. But the neighbor's house was vacant for a long time. The neighbor's husband died, and the wife and her 3 boys moved back. One was a teenager, and the other 2 were twin younger boys. So they moved back, and the girl runs into the teenage boy. Reese Witherspoon's character, the 14-year-old, runs into the boy next door. And she in her young, immature persona falls for him. And he kind of plays like he did too, but then he meets her sister.
Up until the point he meets her older sister.
Her older sister is his age, and he remembers her from when they were children, and so that kind of sparked something with her.
Man, and after that, he just shoved Reese Witherspoon off to the side.
He didn't even want to talk to her,
brutal.
and they were swimming together and having fun together. He was kissing her, and and then it was as if she never existed, and he
It was
moved
so
on to the
bad.
older
He was so
sister.
mean. Yeah.
But that didn't last long. There was a tragedy, like the Nicholas Sparks books,
Yep.
and someone was killed. I don't know if we want to say who, because that
No, we'll
kind of
just
gives away the whole movie.
we'll just
So
leave it at that.
yeah, somebody gets killed, and it kind of changes the whole dynamic of the movie. So I'd say you want to watch it and you want to find out what happens and who it happens to. But it kind of then becomes a struggle between the sisters. So the two sisters, so the younger sister, Reese's character, finds out the older sister was involved with the boy next door. And that was the reason he didn't want to have anything to do with her anymore. So she got angry with the sister and didn't want to talk to her, look at her, anything. But she realizes through the tragedy of what happens that she needed her sister more than she needed any boy and needed to worry about any boy.
So that was I thought was the really
redeeming part.
good part of about the movie.
Yeah. So it was cute. I really like it. And it was kind of set. What year did we kind of figure it was set?
It was, I think, 67.
Okay. So yeah, 60s. They were wearing kind of 60s clothing, things like that. So
yep.
Different, back then it was different. Kids just kind of roamed wherever and would come home at supper time, right?
Yeah, this was a rural, I forget where it was, but it was a rural setting. So think farmland. Houses kind of far apart from each other.
Yeah. So kids behave very differently than they do now,
just
right?
Playing outside.
They just would go and show up at a certain time.
Yeah.
And you can't really do that now because there's so much. Yeah, at least not where we live, not in the big city.
Yeah.
But it was a cute movie. I would probably give it an 8.5. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I'll probably give it a 7.5.
All right, so give that one a try, a shout.
Worth seeing once for sure.
It was called The Man in the Moon. So we weren't really sure how the name played into it, and it's just right at the very end that she says,
at least she'll be able to talk to the man in the moon again.
And that's where the title comes from. So it's not until the very, very end that the title is even brought into the.
Maybe I missed something. I'm not sure what that means unless.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I wonder if it's based off of a book. I might want to look that up and see. It probably is. And but it was good. It was a good Reese Witherspoon debut movie.
It's crazy to see her that young.
Yeah. And then watch her later in Sweet Home Alabama, and she's completely different characteristics, different personality, different.
Know her most probably from Legally Blonde.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Which is not. I mean, that was
different
early,
character.
That was
too.
early 2000s, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, that is what we have for you guys this week. We've got another really good lineup. Another couple movies that Lisa recommended to us. So we'll be watching those this week. And I think we still have a pretty good list. We've got probably 20 something movies that were recommended to us still on the list. So we've got some more to go.
It's not too bad. This is better than Christmas month.
See, it's not bad, right? So Christmas romance movies can be really super cheesy. But he was a good sport for the most part, and as long as I threw a violent one in there now and then.
Those violent ones are terrible. So bad. We tried, but they were so bad.
They were a little bad.
And she sat through.
It was a first for you guys, and we did like it. It was good. It was a really good recommendation.
And she tolerated October for me, so.
They weren't so bad. I mean, I'm getting used to them. As long as they're not demon slashers, then I'm okay with them. I know. I just paranormal. I can't with paranormal. No, I thought they were for real, y'all. I was scared out of my mind.
We watched the original Paranormal Activity, and I totally thought
he never told me that it was not. So it looks like a home video.
Because it was shot that way, home video.
So I totally thought these movies were for real.
And so at the very end, when the demon comes
rips her stomach out, I'm like bawling over here, like freaked out, going like this.
And I'm looking at her like it's just a movie. Did I tell you that this is just a movie?
Like, honey, this is fake. What's wrong? What? So then watching the other ones wasn't so bad because I realized, okay, they were just made up.
So she had a better experience than I did when I first watched the movie.
I thought it was real. Because we had been watching those ghost movies, ghost hunter movies and stuff. So I thought it was something like that, or Blair Witch or something. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, we tolerate each other's months, each other's
Yep,
favorite months.
this one's not bad so far.
So we've got a pretty good lineup. And then the one we are going to be airing on Tuesday, we kind of stumbled on by accident.
We just let the
it
streaming
auto
service
played
play.
after The Man in the Moon. So it's actually another Reese Witherspoon movie, but we're not going to say any more about it. You got to tune in tomorrow and find out what that one's all about. And then,
is that it?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
all we got. So we've got another couple weeks, 2 more weeks of romance movies. So we're going to get those watched for you.
Can't wait until it's done.
Stop.
What's March?
I don't know. We'll talk about that the last week. We can't give out that ahead of time. You got to keep watching and figure it out. Okay? So anyway, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate all of you. We're so glad that there's some new faces that popped in here on this live today. Hopefully you guys will come back. Usually we're Sunday nights at 9:30. So hopefully you guys will consider coming back and jumping on Sunday nights at 9:30.
Way to close out your Monday.
To hear our other, So glad you popped in a day late with us this time.
Somebody's got a taste of the Mondays.
If you don't know that movie, you should watch it. It's pretty good. Office Space. So we both crack up at that one. So give that one a shout out. Stream 100%. All right. It's cool. All right. So thanks for tuning in, guys. And check out our Tuesday and then our Friday faves.
Friday faves.
All right. See ya. See you next time.
It's our ending music.